will be your tour guide for today. So Two Lovers Point is one of Guam's most famous attraction visited on Guam. It opened in the year 1999. Its profile at the northern end of Tumon Bay. And over here, if you look to your back, you can see where our hotel district is at. And this we are seeing is the Philippine Sea. And along the coastline of Two Lovers Point, you can see the fringing reef that protects Guam shores. And this coral reef forms a barrier that buffers coastal areas from severe events like tsunamis and tropical storms. In the northern part of Guam, we have is the limestone plateau. The limestone plateau is created by eons of coral reef growth and plate tectonics. In the southern of Guam, we have is the volcanic mountainous geography, which consists largely of clay soils. And then over here we have is Guam's famous limestone plateau. Did you know that Two Lovers Point in Guam's North Plateau there's about an inch every 100 years? So that over here, you can see it. And then the limestone plateau of the north is also Guam's most important watershed. The Guam's yearly average rainfall is 100 inches. That seeps down the limestone and forms fresh water on top of the seawater. As the water percolates through the limestone, large caverns are formed. So large caverns are like the cave, just like this. And over here, if you look, here is our limestone forest. So this is our... And then in the back, we have is the 9/11 memorial. The memorial is to commemorate those who have lost their lives during the tragic events during September 11, 2001. It's right there. So do you know why it is called Two Lovers Point? Do you know the story behind Two Lovers Point? It is because long ago, during the Spanish colonial area, there was a rich family that owned many land, highly respected throughout the community. The father wanted the daughter to marry a Spanish captain, so he arranged her daughter to marry him. But the daughter was so upset, she was so distraught, she ran all the way to the north until she found herself secluded in a peaceful shore. And there she met her love, a young warrior from a Chamorro modest family. And she promised him that she would return home to see him again. However, when the father found out about the two lovers, he was so mad that he ordered the daughter to marry the captain at once. However, later on that day, after sundown, she slipped away to meet with the Chamorro lover. So when the father found out about that, the father, the captain, and the soldiers, they followed the two lovers all the way to the cliff of Tumon Bay, and the two lovers was trapped between the cliff and the soldiers. So the two lovers tied their hair in one knot and leaped off this high cliff. So the story behind the two lovers is a symbol of true love, where two souls are entwined with each other in life and in death. And over here, the statue of the two lovers, it fell over during the typhoon in December 2002. The typhoon Hs257. It damaged it so extensively that it was believed to be beyond repair. So it ended up in a scrapyard. So 11 years later, one businessman, David Barnhouse, courted Nancy during the spring of 2013. He brought Nancy here to Two Lovers Point and told her about the statue, that it was broken down and ended up in the scrapyard. And he vowed to Nancy that if it was still here, if it existed, if it existed, he would buy it and repair it and bring it back to Two Lovers Point. So later on that year, the couple married, and then Nancy started looking for this statue. So after 2 years later, she ended up meeting Mr. Moses Chong. Mr. Moses Chong is the owner of Guam Corporation, and he was the one who purchased the statue many years ago, but never had the heart to melt down the statue. So David Barnhouse and his wife Nancy, they bought the statue, have it repaired, and brought it to the workshop. And their company was the Island Search Corporation. And during October 15, 2015, the second year anniversary of David and Nancy Barnhouse, they brought this statue up here. So that's why we have the statue. And over here, we have is the restaurant, which is named Terraza. It was established in the year 2017. And they serve local burgers, wraps, beers, and cocktails with complimentary view of the ocean, and you can see sunset. So it can be your family and your lover. So this concludes my presentation.
Be your tour guide for today here at Senator Angel Leon Guerrero Memorial Park. Background on Senator Angel Leon Guerrero Santos. Angel Anthony Leon Guerrero Santos III was a United States Air Force veteran, a former senator of Guam legislature, and an icon of Chamorro activism. He fought for the implementation of the Chamorro Land Act and return of the excess federal lands, and was an advocate of social justice for the indigenous Chamorro of Guam during his years public of service as a Chamorro leaders for indigenous rights. He frequented Laddystone Park for inspiration, contemplation, and guidance on Chamorro human rights in 2003. The 27th Chamorro legislature renamed the Laddystone Park to Senator Angel Leon Guerrero Memorial Park. Laddystone are a symbol of Guam identity. They represent the Chamorro culture. These monuments are made of a sharp stone on the ground, haligi, and topped by a stone taza were used by ancient Chamorro people on the island of Guam. Rodo, Tinian, and Saipan as a pillar to support building. In 1956, the U.S. military relocated Laddis from the former village of Maple to its current location in Hagana. The village site was destroyed by military construction after World War II. There, 7 lattice stones are placed in power rows that frame a rectangular area. The lattice stone varies in height from less than 1 meter up to 6 meters. Lattice stone, the limestone pillars used by the Chamorro people as foundation for their home as far back 580 are displayed at this park. Relocated stone Laddystone Park is not an original location of this stone. Initially, the stone were located in the southern part of Guam. Near the Fenya Reservoir, here was located the ancient Maple Village. There were preserved 12 such as megaliths in 2 rows. Army of the United States planned to build a military base here, and the stone were relocated to Hagana in 1955 to 1956. Halagi and Taza. Laddystone consists of 2 parts, halagi and taza. Halagi is an upright stone which is the narrowing upwards. The largest halagi were mined in a stone quarry in Rhode Island, Northern Marianas Island, where 7.6 meter tall stone columns have been left lying. Here the largest shaft weighed 34 tons. The stones most likely were mined by burning the limestone and removing the burnt lime. Larger halagi could be made from sandstone and even the hard basalt. Tasa is a capstone placed on the top of halagi. Tasa has hemispheric form with a flat side facing upward. It is made of naturally rounded coral heads collected in the nervy rifts. Some specialists consider that the rounded tasa prevented the rats from climbing up the stone pillar. Larger capstone may weigh up to 22 ounces. Also in Roto, that is stones quarry. It is not an easy task to rise and place such a stone block on the top 5 stones. And that's my conclusion of this.
Everyone, my name is Christine. So we are currently at Agana today, which is the capital of Guam. Was the location of the Governor's Palace during the island's long period of Spanish occupation. Did you know that Agana is the oldest European-style city in the Pacific? Well, it is considered the first European city in the Pacific because of the early colonization of the Marianas, as compared to the rest of the Pacific. It was declared a city by a Spanish Royal Decree 40 on March 1686 as the capital of the Marianas, the residence of the Spanish governor and the site of the garrison. There are 3 structures still standing, including the 3-arch gate, which is located over there, and then the azotea or back porch, and the chocolate house, which is located over there. The chocolate house functioned as a merienda place where the Spanish and American administrators of Guam and their families entertained, serving morning and afternoon beverages and pastries. The chocolate house contains 2 of the oldest Spanish coats of arms on Guam. One is made from soft greenstone dated 1879. The other, made of marble, is dated 1895. At that time, Agana was reported to be the island's principal village. It is estimated that 1,000 people lived in the village that reportedly had 203 dwellings, 53 upper-class homes, and 150 other dwellings that belonged to lower-caste residents, who had no part of the affairs of Agana. Chief Kepua was the first adult Chamorro to be baptized and was renamed Juan in honor of Saint John the Baptist, the patron saint of the island. Did you know that upon his passing, he was buried beneath the altar of the church? Some historians believe that Dulce Nombre de Maria Cathedral Basilica was located on the site of this first Catholic church. Today, the village remains the seat of the island's government as well as a center of commerce and trade. The village residential population is only a shadow of its former self. This fact, combined with its significant historical and cultural heritage, have fueled a movement to revitalize the island's capital city. A master plan has been developed by the Agana Restoration and Redevelopment Authority to revitalize, preserve, and protect the heritage and economic vitality of Guam's capital city. The Plaza de España today continues to be the site for numerous social and civic functions, including the inauguration of the Governor of Guam, emphasizing its significance in Guam's history. Also, the plaza is a favorite place for wedding couples to take their portraits. And that concludes my presentation.
Thank you. Hello, my name is Rochelle, and I'll be your tour guide for the Cathedral Basilica. And if you guys are ever thirsty, they're selling coconut for $5 and refreshments. Okay, for the Cathedral Basilica, known as Dulce Nombre de Maria Cathedral Basilica, rests on the site of the first Roman Catholic mission in the Mariana Islands. This began on June 16, 1668, when Padre San Victor arrived on Guam with his followers to establish new ways to worshiping and introducing Roman Catholicism to the island. The Chamorros constructed the original wooden thatched chapel from 1669 to 1670 under the leadership of Padre San Victor. On land granted by Chief Kukua,
The Chamorro nobles welcomed Santa Claus and his fellow priests. Chief Kupua was the first adult to be baptized, followed by all the nobles of Pagania. After Chief Kupua became a Christian, he was renamed as Don Juan Kupua and was the first to be buried beneath the church. In 1912, the Iglesia de Doce Nombre de Maria was designated a cathedral. This structure survived until World War II, when it was destroyed during the shelling of Pagania in preparation for the American invasion. And then through the further years, in 1958, it was rebuilt and constructed. And after those few times, through the years, and for the highlight for the people of Guam for the 2 days, the Pope John Paul II stepped foot on Guam on September 22 and the 23rd in 1980, and around 20,000 people of Guam showed up to the mass to attend. One of the principal features of the basilica is the statue of Santa Maria Magdalene, over there. According to oral tradition, a fisherman off Cocos Island was spearfishing and found the statue just short up, but I believe he was trying to grab the statue, but when he wasn't able to, so he went to one of the villagers. I believe he was told that he has to wear his best Sunday dressing, so in order to get the statue. And after the cathedral, I'm going to present the Guam Congress building over there behind you. The Guam Congress building is known as the Guam Legislature building. Was built in 1949 by Pacific Island Building and Brown and Root Pacific Bridge and Maxon. The Congress building is located here in Hagåtña, directly across from the cathedral and opposite from the museum, Skinner Plaza, and Plaza de Esplana. It is the seat of the legislature of Guam, and it is where the legislature meets the Guam Congress building. In 1946, the people of Guam elected the first post-war bicameral Guam Congress, which included the House of Council and the House Assembly. They remained an advisory body to the Navy until the Organic Act was passed. During that time, they elected the first leadership, Rosa Agatha Regis, as the first woman in the post-war Guam Congress. However, the building was closed down due because of the lack of maintenance, and it was forced aging, so it wasn't really built. There was in the late 1980s, they closed it down, and so the senators had to move out and had to rent a commercial facing building here somewhere in Hagåtña. And however, the Guam legislature was renting the commercial building for about 26 years, so they haven't been really focused on repairing the Guam Congress building. However, 3 years ago in 2016, we were able to rebuild and complete the building by the Guam Preservation Trust and the legislature. They were able to restore it with eco-friendly solar panels and environment-friendly materials. And this saves the money for the government because it no longer has to rent. And this concludes my presentation. Today we are at Adam's Point. It's the rainy season, so we're an umbrella. Yeah. So as we my name's Angela. I'll be your tour guide. So in front of us there's the gas station, and up the hill is the ladies' HR and Naval Base Hospital. As we enter, you can see Governor Bordalio's statue right behind us. The statue usually greets and welcomes us into the complex. So, Adulu Point is the governor's complex where the governor's office and other government agencies are located. So somewhere right there. And there are meeting rooms and small displays of 3 untapped artifacts. And at the top of the complex, over there, are the recently dedicated Hall of Governors and the Latin of Freedom. This is a popular place for tourists to take pictures for historical sites and breathtaking views in the back part of the upper building. And Adelup has a real meaning, which is called to look before you leave. This area has also been called Punta Namiti and the Devil's Point. So, talking about Governor Ricardo Badallo, this place is dedicated to him, and he is noted as one of Guam's greatest leaders for having sound business, vision for the island's future, and a love of farming. So, he actually fought a lot for this place, but then he failed to appeal to the court, and he was sentenced to prison for 4 years. Right before he left Guam, 3 hours going to California, he drove to Chief Kapuha's statue at Paseo Loop, and he had a small placard that states tomorrow's control of Guam. Then he laid out the Guam flag on the ground in front of him and committed suicide with a .38 caliber turret. Yeah. This concludes my presentation.
Good day everyone, my name is Isla and I will be your tour guide for today. So we are here currently in the beautiful village of Cagana, and we are here at the San Antonio Bridge, which is also known as Acho. I'm not sure how to pronounce that. But it was named after a Portuguese saint, San Antonio Padua, and it was built in the 1800s by Spanish Governor Manuel Guerrero as a means for crossing the Agana River. Did you know that this bridge survived the bombing of Havana in World War II, but it eventually lost its usefulness when the river was diverted during the post-war reconstruction of the city. It is the only surviving Spanish bridge built by stone, but then it was later on restored in 1966 with concrete, and it was used to connect the San Ignacio district to the Bilibid district. And right over here we have the statue of Serena the Mermaid. It is a Guam legend about a girl who disobeyed her mother. And she loved swimming so much that she would choose that over running errands. One day when she was late returning home, her mother cursed her to become part of what she loved and to never come back. But before completely turning into a fish, her grandmother stopped the curse